Welcome, adventurers. What's going on, guys? My name is Cody. This is Taking 20, and we are back with our 30-day Dungeons and Dragons challenge. Thank you guys for coming on this magic journey with me so far. I gotta say, I have had an absolute blast doing these videos with you guys. And yeah, thanks for taking the journey with me. Thanks for talking about outsiders and how we hate monks. Oh, and how we all got started. Oh my gosh, those stories. So much fun. All right, so I know this is going to be a little weird because we already did outsiders, but today's question is, what is your favorite fae? So let's talk about it. Man, fae probably have to be one of the most undervalued and underused monsters in D&D. And you know, I'm not really sure why. I think maybe it has a lot to do with the fact that they typically exist in the Feywild is typically where you'll encounter them, and maybe new groups don't often go hopping to other planes of existence. Maybe that's it. I'm not sure, but man, I really love the Feywild overall. I think it's a great adventuring site because it's foreign. You know, it's foreign to your players. It feels magical. It feels different. It feels like something is they're out of place because they are. They're on a different plane. So everything they encounter is kind of magical and wondrous and different. You know, of course, unless you have that group that's, you know, been running games for 35 years and they've made a dozen or so trips to the Feywild, then maybe they don't have the mystique around it as much as maybe a new group would. But it's a great adventuring site. I'm really tempted here to choose a fae that is good aligned, because when I think of fae, I think wonderment. I don't think monsters. I don't. I think maybe inner conflict. I think humans, like a court, maybe, where you have plotting against each other or something is amiss. Maybe there's some grand scheme going on to displace a noble or something along those lines, or those different types of fae hierarchies that exist in your own game worlds. Because I think a lot of the Feywild is probably custom homebrewed. I don't think necessarily a whole lot of people stick quite to what Wizards of the Coast has published for them. That's just a total guess. I'm making an assumption there. But the reality is when I looked at the list to double check, like, one just jumped right off on the page to me. And this is one of my favorite monsters in the whole game. And I think it reminds me a lot of both the Undead and the Baelor as far as why I like them. And that is the Hag. Oh man, I love the Hag, and I'm not 100% sure why. I just something about like the Fey Witch that might eat children or be up to plotting and scheming. Again, kind of like the Baelor, where it's just totally evil. There is no redeeming qualities about it. I love the Hag. It almost reminds me of Hocus Pocus. Like you guys. All right, well, hold on. I say that, but maybe not everybody gets that reference. I just realized that movie's like more than 2 decades old now. So, yeah, but they remind me of Hocus Pocus, where it's like they're just over the top, ridiculously evil, eating kids, like totally unnecessary. I think the Hags creep people out. They definitely creep me out. And the stories I could tell about Hags, of that witch in the hut kind of mentality, the Hag layer, where it's a coven of hags and they share this nasty demeanor and just horrible, wretched evil. Even so much so where an adventurer would feel threatened just from being in its lair. I love that hags are intelligent. That is something that is always a plus for me with monsters. I love that they can be plotters and schemers, and that their motivations are just the fact that they just want to fuck with things. They want to be evil because that's what makes them joyous. That is always a culmination of a great monster, in my opinion. I love what Volo's Guide to Monsters did, what Wizards did in Volo's Guide for Hags. I love the Coven rules. I love the layers. I love so much about them. And I think they lend really well to a creepy game if you want to kind of change the tone of your game a little bit. I think a hag layer is a great place to do that in. You know, so much you have these dungeons where it's brave adventurers, it's Mortal Kombat, it's brutish, I'm gonna overpower you because I'm a hero and we're gonna just clash shields and swords until one of us is the victor. You know, and hags give your game a completely different feel when you use them. So I love hags. I love how creepy they are. I love that they still remind me I love that they remind me of Hocus Pocus. I don't know why. You know, and if I had to pick just one hag, if you're gonna hold my feet to the fire, you know, the green hag is fine. Also, I love the Anise hag. I love the Anise hag, and if you watched my Volo's Guide to Monsters review, you know that was one of the 4 or 5 monsters that I talked about specifically. I love that she's a corrupter of children. That's just, oh, that's such a creepy, horrible, evil monster that you want to go stop. You know, and as much as I'm tempted to go with a fun, light, good-hearted fae creature to put up against players from time to time or to introduce them as NPCs, man, I gotta go with the hag. That is my favorite fae. So guys, what is your favorite fae? Is it something good? Is it something light and fun? Is it something horrible and evil? Let us know in the comments below. Let's talk about fae a little bit. I think this is a monster that doesn't get enough. This is a monster group that doesn't get enough love. And yeah, let's take this as an opportunity to talk about some fae. Maybe get some new campaign ideas going. If this is your first time here and you love role-playing games as much as I do, I'd love to have you subscribe. I'll be putting out new videos every week on DM tips, player tips, tutorials, and more. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, just hit the subscribe button down below and come join us. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Cody, and may your games be filled with awesome memories and even better friends. I'll catch you guys next time. This is called, I know, it's called B-roll. Zeus, I Zeus. Wait, give me a kiss. All right. Can I have one over here? Give me. Okay, but you're not in trouble. You're not in trouble. Your breath just stinks. You smell like you ate an asshole.